Here's James, written and narrated by Blue Productions. The fat director stood on the platform, waiting for the new engine. He soon heard a puffing noise, which became louder and louder. The engine soon came into view as he screeched into the station. "Here's James!" There, at the platform, was a black engine with red lining. He was a mogul, which meant he had a pony truck in front to help stop derailments at high speed. I'm guessing that you're the new engine sent over?
Yes, I am, sir. Can't wait to start.
That's what I like to hear. See Edward in the yard to start your Sodor journey.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Edward was shunting in the yard, teaching Thomas about the breakdown train. These can lift trucks, carriages, and engines. Whoa, hopefully I don't need to be on the end of them. Just be careful and I won't need to rescue you, he chuckled.
Hello, are you Edward?
The one and only. Who are you?
I'm James. I'm here to replace Sir Nigel while he's in the works.
You're replacing him? Thomas interrupted.
What? No. I'm just here while he's waiting for repairs.
Well, I think we should start some shunting, and maybe you can pull some trains. James was just what the doctor ordered. He was a massive help, and he nearly gave Gordon a run for his money. James looked up to Edward, but Thomas was more sceptical of him. A few days later, Edward and James backed towards the middle of Knapford. Gordon and Henry were there, too, waiting for their respective whistles. Pah! Why should such a splendid engine as yourself be hanging out with all that old rubbish?
Oh, please do shut up, Gordon, Henry spluttered. Let James pick who he wants to be with. I definitely made that mistake being with you.
You know a thing or two about mistakes, Henry. Right, you two. The fat director's office is in there. You wouldn't want him to come out, would you?
Gordon muttered under his breath. Sorry, Edward.
That's okay, Henry. Sorry for raising my voice. James, I think you're ready to take a train out. Take the trucks from the blade platform, and a tip of advice. Treat the trucks like coaches. If you bump them, they will pay you out.
Okay, thanks, Edward. These are for Wellsworth, right?
Yes, but take the line up to Elsbridge, as you'll need to drop off the trucks for the Farquhar lot.
Okay, I'll remember that.
James's whistle blew, and he was on his way. He won't last 5 minutes on that line, Gordon said to himself. James loved going along the line. He saw cars pass along with a blur. Unfortunately, Gordon's words about being splendid stuck in his smoke box.
I am splendid, aren't I?
He said to no one in particular. He passed lots of hills and farmland. Then he finally arrived at Elsbridge. He saw a small red engine. This engine was called Glyn. He worked on the Elsbridge and Farquhar Railway. He was a vertical boiler, and he got the nickname Coffee Pot, mostly by Gordon and Robert.
Hello, I'm James. I like your colour.
Well, thank you, James. I'm Glyn. Let me take those pesky trucks away. What's the smell? James had wooden brake blocks, which aren't the best for when you're going into stations. They cause them to smoke. James was self-conscious about them.
What? I can't smell anything.
James rushed back onto his train, bumping the trucks. Ow! One truck shouted. We'll get him, said another. James left and went. He went through tunnels and up to Elsbridge Peak, a small hill after Elsbridge. Some oil was on the tracks from a previous train. However, James didn't know. He started to brake, but with oil, wooden brake blocks, and the trucks, it was useless to stop.
Oh no!
James shut his eyes and prepared for the worst. He toppled off the track and laid on the grass.
Ow! I bet I don't look splendid now.
Without warning, Henry also crashed, crushing the trucks from James's train. Brrring, brrring, shouted an alarm. James and Henry have come off the line. Get the breakdown train, quickly! Thomas heard the alarm and rushed to the rescue. Thomas's quick thinking got his bunker there very fast. He was able to look in awe as the crane lifted the trucks up. Thomas waited for groups of 3 or 4 trucks to be put on the rails. Then he shunted them back to Elsbridge. James and Henry were loaded onto flatbeds and shunted to the workshop. The fat controller, still not having enough money for Nigel's repairs, sat in his office with his head on the table. "Excuse me, sir. You wanted on the telephone."
Oh, okay.
"Yes."
Speaking.
"Really? Well, that is good. Thank you." The fat director walked to the workshed. "I have some good news, everyone. A local school nearby raised some money as they heard about the accident, so we can fix your wall." The engines were so excited. They came out of the works one by one. Nigel came out first, and he was happy. James was repainted red and given new brakes. Henry was given a new shape, and even though he didn't crash, Thomas was painted the same blue as Edward, and sadly golden. All the engines were happy to have each other together. Well, except one small boxy engine.